Okay, so for a person like me who's like completely clueless about this, what would you recommend? Like,
A brand that is very popular in the market for men is known as the flashlight. Essentially, it's a tube. But then you got to move lah.
Hi everyone, I'm Bryan, Mothership's intern, and today we are here with Janice, who is a sexual wellness consultant and a sexual wellness advocate.
Hello, Bryan. Nice to be here with Mothership today.
Alright, so I guess before we begin, maybe you can just tell us a bit more, what exactly is sexual wellness?
Usually when people refer to sex, they only refer to the act of sexual intercourse. But it's a lot more broader to include physical, mental and emotional well-being. Sexual wellness is a part of total well-being. We cannot segregate that. This is the most popular toy for women. It's called the Kinky Bunny. You have this, which is for insertion. That's for the G-spot. And this one, the bunny, the bunny ears, is actually used for clitoral stimulation. It's called double the pleasure. So that's why it's so popular amongst the women. This is actually quite a new technology. It's called a womanizer brand. You can use it on the clitoris, and it will stimulate the suction of a human mouth. It's called pleasure air technology. It's not just like simple dildos these days, These days it's also about sex technology. You get toys of all kinds of shapes and sizes. Like this kind of, you can use it. It's a vibrator and you can use it like that. This one is the travel size one, so it's very popular amongst women for carrying their purses. Only 25 to 35% of women actually achieve orgasm. This is a global figure, and out of that figure, probably less than 10% of that figure actually experience orgasm through penetrative sex. So I would say that in this case, sex toys could help for women especially to discover their own body and what kind of pleasure they like. The most common misconception is that you think about a sex toy or sex toy shop, it's found in like Lucky Plaza, Orchard Plaza, red lights, dark, and very sleazy. By putting toys in mainstream retailers like Guardian and Watsons, we hope that it will help to normalize a little bit on the image of sex and sex toys.
Selling sex toys is something people might associate as shameful, So yeah, how will you sort of respond to that in a way?
I think it's definitely understandable. We have been conditioned, in such a way that we never talk about sex in the family, and at school, sex education is limited to the biology of it. And even in Singapore, where we appear very modern, progressive, but there's still a lot of shame in talking about pleasure, sex. So it is something that in our societies, it's always been like that. It's time for us to change, I would say. Yeah, the mindset and the perception about sex and sexuality.
Okay.
And gender roles when it comes to men and women. Women are expected to give pleasure and men are expected to receive. So this is something, we call it the pleasure gap. I think it's important to engage both parties at the end of the day to make sure both parties are satisfied. And some of the men who are very enlightened, I would say not many, they realize that the more pleasure you give to your partner, the more you receive. Okay. So Bryan, since you're only 19 years old and you've learned this at a very young age, I think you'll be at a head start.
Hopefully. Yeah. All right, cool. You're a sexual wellness consultant as well, right? So are there any interesting differences between what males and females actually come to you and talk about?
The man will ask me, what about me? You're saying that if I buy the toy, then what happens if my wife or my girlfriend doesn't want me anymore? So it's a very common question. I would tell them, toys are just a different form of play. They're never used as a human replacement. So if ever one day your wife, your girlfriend thinks that, or your partner thinks that I'd rather use the toys, there must be a deeper problem in the relationship that is not relating to the toys.
Before today, right, what was your impression about sex? Or sex toys?
Sex toys in general, I would say it's like what you mentioned just now, normally it's sold in very sleazy places, places that probably I would never go in alone because of the stigma. But then now that I realize, it's just like wellness in a way. So it's not like something that should be taboo. I think it's something that's very, I guess, considered normal in a way because it's something that everybody needs, I would say.
Precisely. I mean, like any other human need, right? Hunger, thirst, sex is a basic, fundamental human desire. So instead of denying it, I think we should learn how to acknowledge it and welcome it, and manage it in a way that works well for yourself, and for your partner if you have a partner. In any relationships, openness and communication is the key.